Today, we're diving into a really revolutionary idea in psychology, one that basically flipped the entire script on mental health. It shifted the power away from the all-knowing therapist and put it right into the hands of the person sitting across from them. And honestly, it challenges the very foundation of what it means to help someone heal.
So think about this. What if the best way to help someone wasn't to diagnose them, or give advice, or interpret their life for them? What if the most powerful tool in the toolbox was just to listen? Really, truly listen. This is the big question that drove the life's work of psychologist Carl Rogers. And believe me, it changed everything.
Before Rogers came along, therapy pretty much looked like the column on the left. The therapist was the expert, right? They had the answers. They'd diagnose the problem, and they'd lead the patient to a solution. But Rogers, he completely turned that on its head. He argued that the client is the true expert on their own life, and that real lasting change doesn't come from being told what to do, but from a journey of self-discovery, with the therapist acting as an empathetic guide. Now, an idea this big didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was a philosophy that Rogers developed and polished over decades. And watching it evolve tells this amazing story about a deepening commitment to empowering every single individual. It all started back in the 1940s with non-directive counseling, which was a direct shot at that old therapist as expert model. Then, by 51, it became client-centered therapy, really zeroing in on the client's own world. By the 60s, the goal got even bigger, helping someone become a fully functioning person. And finally, in the 80s, it became the person-centered approach, because Rogers realized these principles weren't just for therapy. They could transform classrooms, families, you name it. Even the language he used was a huge deal. Just switching the word from patient to client signaled a massive shift. A patient is passive. There's someone things happen to. But a client? A client is an active participant. With that one simple change, he handed the power and the responsibility for growth right back to the individual. So you have to wonder, what do you have to believe about people for this whole approach to even make sense? Well, Rogers' entire theory is built on a few really optimistic, foundational beliefs about human nature itself. At its core, Rogers' approach is built on a radical trust in humanity. He believes that, deep down, people are fundamentally trustworthy, that we all have this built-in drive to grow and fulfill our potential. He called it self-actualization. He believed we already have the tools inside of us to heal. We just need the right conditions to use them. So the therapist's job isn't to give us the answers, but to create a space where we can find them for ourselves. And that brings us right to the heart of the method. If the goal is to create that perfect environment for growth, what does it actually look like? Well, Rogers boiled it all down to 3 essential ingredients. No complicated techniques, no secret formula. He said if a therapist could genuinely provide these 3 core conditions, positive change wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. Just 3. That's it. 3 essential ways of being in a relationship that can unlock a person's potential. First up, empathy. Now, this isn't just feeling sorry for someone. Rogers described it as something much deeper. It's the ability to climb into another person's world, to see it through their eyes, and to feel it as if you were them. But, and this is so important, without ever losing that as-if quality. You don't get lost in their world. You walk alongside them in it. Second is congruence, or what you and I would probably just call genuineness. It means the therapist shows up as a real person. There's no professional mask, no hiding behind a role. What they're feeling inside matches what they're showing on the outside. They're just real, and that authenticity gives the client permission to be real too. And third, unconditional positive regard. This is a profound, non-judgmental acceptance of the client, exactly as they are. It's a real, genuine caring that doesn't come with any strings attached. It's not, I'll accept you if, it's just, I accept you. Period. This incredible sense of safety is what allows a person to drop their defenses and finally explore the parts of themselves they've been afraid to look at. And you can see here that empathy isn't a passive thing. It's not just sitting and nodding. It's an active, dynamic cycle. It's a dance, really. The counselor listens. They really try to connect with what the client is feeling, and then they communicate that understanding back. The client feels heard, and that allows them to go deeper, which keeps the whole cycle moving. So let's say you have these 3 conditions in a relationship. Where does all of this lead? What's the end game? For Rogers, it was never just about fixing a specific problem. It was about unlocking a person's entire potential. The goal is to become what Rogers called a fully functioning person. And the key here is that this is not a destination.
It's not a finish line you cross and you're done. It's a continuous process of becoming. It's about being someone who is always growing, who is open to all of life's experiences, and who is living in a way that is deeply, truly authentic to them.
So what does that actually look like? Well, it means being open to everything. Joy, sadness, the whole spectrum, instead of putting up walls. It means you start to trust your own gut feelings and judgment. Your sense of what's right for you comes from the inside, not from what other people think. It means living with a sense of purpose and creativity. And these aren't just pie-in-the-sky ideals. They're what happens naturally when you feel truly safe and accepted. You finally learn to trust yourself.
Okay, so this is all fascinating stuff from the mid-20th century. But why does it still matter so much today? Because really, the implications of this go way, way beyond the therapist's office.
Rogers' core conditions, empathy, genuineness, and unconditional acceptance, they're basically a blueprint for better human connection in every single part of life. Think about it. Imagine a teacher who doesn't just want to cram information into a student's head, but who offers genuine curiosity and belief in that student's potential. Or a boss who leads not with authority, but with an empathic understanding of their team. These principles build a kind of trust where real growth can happen.
Ultimately, Carl Rogers gave us more than just a type of therapy. He gave us a way of being with other people. So the question I want to leave you with is this. In your own life, with your family, your friends, your coworkers, what might look different if you chose to lead with empathy, to show up with genuineness, and to offer acceptance without any conditions? How might your world, and theirs, begin to change?